Please welcome the Honorable Datu Rajali bin Datu Eranza from University Malaysia Sabah, which is already with us. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. First, I would like to read the curriculum, the summary, the resume for Datu Razali Datu bin Datu Eranza. He's from Faculty of Business and Economic and Accountancy from UMS. Datu Razali Datu Haja Eranza is a lecturer from the Faculty of Business and Economic and Accountancy UMS. He held the position of UMS coordinator for the European Union support to higher education in Asian region or share. After serving as a faculty program coordinator and being the coordinator for the International Mobility student. He's graduated from Master of Human Capital Management from UMS. He actively gives lecture and training in the field of management training and development, talent management, organization, behavior, and communication. The area of research being carried out recently including human capital assessment, COVID-19 knowledge management, practice and stress management, post-COVID-19 industry analysis, and human capital assessment of small and medium tourism enterprises in Sabah. In recent years, he and other co-authors have produced more than 30 works of journal articles, proceedings, chapters in books, and other within the past 3 years. Among the government agencies, he has conducted research, consultancy, and work reports are Higher Education Leadership Academy, Sabah Ministry of Resource Development and Information Technology, and Sibu Municipal Council Sarawak. He's also a member of International Society for Development and Sustainability SEEDS, the Southeast Asian Studies Regional Exchange Program, CISREP, and Malaysia Institute of Human Resource Management. Last year in 2023, he has completed his certification of Certified Trainer for Human Resource Development Fund, Malaysia in September 2024, the last one year. This year, he also has just completed his professional diploma on competency-based talent management. This is your topic, right? At Academy of Higher Institution Leadership. So please welcome the Honorable Datu Razali of Datu Eranza. Thank you. Please, the stage is yours.
All right, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Honorable speakers, Dean of the Faculty, Professor Dr. Dode, thank you very much for having me. Event Chairperson, Dr. Rizky, thank you once again. It has been a great honor for me to be representing our university, University of Malaysia Sabah, or here local we call it University Malaysia Sabah, which is Halo Oleo partners. Yeah, thank you very much. It has been a wonderful morning. I enjoyed the sessions and a very warm welcome from all of you. Thank you very much. So the topic of today will be related to the background of mine of what I have been doing for the past few years. All right. So the topics today, I came up with the ideas. I finalized the presentations, which is building competencies for green talent. I have reviewed a few angles before I come down to Kendari, Indonesia. One of it will be related to like, green economies, sustainability, management and all. But I'm looking at the gap of what my experience that I've, had the privilege, to attend courses, completed my certifications and all. I see the gap. When we talk about the economies that will be related to the stakeholders, policymakers, penggubal dasar ya. Kalau disebut di Indonesia mungkin di Malaysia ya, penggubal dasar, representative that is elected by the people, organizational levels that will be at business stakeholders, business board of directors, who will decide the future of organizations. But what comes May of the university is that another organization is that it relies on the management of the university. Now, if we look at the whole concept of the organization, it has simply to say is that one organizations will be formed based on these three characteristics or three components. One will be the people in the organizations. Yeah. First one will be the people. Second will be the objective. Third will be the structure. So when we look at the organizations based on these three components, we break down, then we see one of the important factors is that will be the resources. Yeah. So human resource is one of the criteria to form a good management practices in organizations. However, if we look at the functions of organizations, the standard as what the definitions or the concept of management, it has four functions, if we can just simplify that. That will be POLC, which is planning, organizing, leading, and controlling. Now, the question is that, where does human resource lies on? Yeah, dia di mana ya antara POLC ni? So to me is that if I look at all of the literatures and most of the textbooks that have been teaching human resource management for the past 12 years or 13 years in the university, I've seen that staffing will be in the mid sections, the mid process of planning, leading, staffing, which is for human resource, organizing, and controlling. So it comes in here. Now, the question is that if we look at from the human resource management perspective, where are we actually located at? We are actually in the mid sections. We translate the big picture of the organizations and we put it into the actions. Now, the gap is that what happens here is that when the organization is moving towards like green economies, sustainable management, sustainable practices, for example, yeah, the top management knows about the directions. We formulate the visions and the missions of the companies. But the problem is that the value that we instill to the employees, how much does it value to? Now, if I were to put a lemon perspective or a simplified perspective, is that does any one of us have ever valued or put a value into ourselves? Now, if I were to ask like Dr. Nitri here, how much would you value or what is your value? How would you see your value in this organization or to yourself? I've done this couple of research to put evaluations on people, for example, based on a self-assessment. It varies. The perspective is that it starts from 20 cents of ringgit Malaysia up until 700 or 1.2 million ringgit Malaysia. So you can see that different professions, different background, they have a different value. And some people will say indefinite. Ya, dia mengatakan bahwa uang itu tidak bisa kita nggak bisa diukur ya dengan mata uang. Tapi sebenarnya the question is that the value it is. Now, if we were to strictly to talk about the green economies or sustainability practices, for example, or sustainable management, what is the value to us? How much does the employees will actually contribute to the organizations? Now, this is a very important question and tricky part of the questions. So this is where HR comes into the practice, comes into the picture. You see or not? So the thing is that when the organizations is about to move towards sustainable practices, towards green economy or sustainable economies, now the question is that whether or not the organizations or the peoples in the organizations will will have the ideas of what the future lies ahead of them. Yeah, so this is some of the fundamentals that we talk about in building competencies for green talent. So my topic today are the summations that I'm going to do based on 50 journal articles that I reviewed recently, and based on some of the studies that I've done in Indonesia with my fellow good colleague, Dr. Christian Swallow Riadandi from Universitas Negeri Jakarta. We have done a couple of research on competencies as well in the context of Indonesia, but it's for social entrepreneurs. Yeah. So I will integrate the whole perspective that what kind of roles does a HR or human resource in organizations can actually play for the green economy transitions. Now, when we talk about the HR, it's not just about the HR professionals or the HR managers or registrar in organization. It is not. Because the future talents that we produce, the kids of our educations, for example, the sons and the daughters, ya, anak didikan kita itu, we have to prepare them to ensure that when they enter the market workforce, they know what is the directions, what kind of values that we need to instill. Well, I start off with a good case study of University of Malaysia Sabah, which I can share a bit of with you all. University of Malaysia Sabah is probably known as one of the biggest campus in Malaysia. We are about 999 acres. For the China visitors, we are known for the universities that has hills and beach. Yeah. For Korean, they love the sunset. Some people will say Sabah has the second beautiful sunset or the third sunset in the world. But to me, what instilled in me, since I've been working in the university since 2009, it is the establishment of the Eco Campus as the first Eco Campus in Malaysia. So the journey started off like 10 years ago, or more than 10 years ago, when our former Vice Chancellor, or I would say Director of University of Malaysia Sabah, initiated the whole ideas to have University of Malaysia Sabah to be the Eco Campus. The question is that because if we were to establish in the sense of Malaysian universities, to compete, I will say much difficult. So the strategy is that to collaborate, for example. So collaborations is that we look into the international ranking standards, for example. University of Malaysia Sabah, when with the establishments of the Eco Campus, for example, we have joined a couple of international associations, especially like related to a campus sustainability network. So those kind of strategies. And throughout my experience involved directly with the Eco Campus Management Center is that we found that when the universities and organizations wanted to move forward, more important is that the stakeholders. Yeah, the stakeholders. We did not started off, yes, we did started off with the policies and the directions of the university to be an Eco Campus. But the thing is that we look at the stakeholders in the organization, who are the main stakeholders to universities. So we started off with the students first. Kita mulakan ya inisiatif Eco Campus ini dengan anak didik kita ya. Because University of Malaysia Sabah, the main stakeholders, the biggest stakeholders are the students. Yeah. So the students are the first target when we instill Eco Campus initiative. Follow up by the management employees and all. Yeah. So what happened is that green economy and workforce, for example, if we look at a bigger context, for instance, yeah, according to the ILO 2018, 24 millions of new jobs will be created globally. Now, the question is that, does it really happen? Or after COVID-19, after the pandemic, is it still 24 millions, as what we mentioned in 2018 by the International Labour Organizations? Then when ILO mentions about the green economy workforce, it involves the ideas or the initiative about the ecosystem services, which is to adopt sustainable practices. I do reckon and echo back to the presentations that has been made by Professor Chung Kyung from South Korea, which is true. Yeah. So if I were to share my experience when I visited China universities and China organizations, China universities, they are popular with hands-on and practicality. Now, if we were to visit China universities, for example, we will see that in China, some of the universities they call as normal university. Before I went to China in recent years, yeah, the China dinyatakan normal university. So as educators, I was thinking, what does it mean by normal university? Yeah, universitas normal. Yeah, so I was wondering what kind of normal university is that? That apparently it is specializations or specialized institutions of teaching institutions in China. Say, for example, if it is a teaching, a normal university for teaching, for instance, that will be a teaching institutions. So the recent one that we have collaborated, for example, was the University of Shanghai for science and technology. Okay, although university is known for the science and technology, but their business school, their management schools also invested, yeah, heavily in in accreditations for for the AACSB's certifications. Yeah, just like Universitas of Halonio recently. Yeah, I think also undergone for the assessment or for the certification as well. Yeah, yes, international recognitions. So the directions of the organization, it has to be made clear. Yeah, so based on the ILO, for example, 2018, it stated that 6 million jobs will be made by creating a circular economy in terms of recycling, repair, rent, and manufacturing. Yeah, replacing the traditional economic models of extracting, making, using, and disposing. Yeah, which is true. Yeah. So fast forward in 2024, what happened is that after COVID, it is not just about 28 millions, yeah, or 24 millions of jobs, but ILO estimated that there could be a new prospect, which is 1.2 billions of jobs can be opened, yeah, or will be related to healthy and well-functioning ecosystem. Yeah, if we look at the biggest, the largest employer, which is in the agriculture sector, yeah, according to ILO, it is about 1.1 billion of jobs, yeah, or people involved in the employment. So the thing is that such kind of prospect in the directions of the future is that positive scenario is possible and there is a huge opportunity. This is where the problem statements, came in as what I mentioned just now. The roles of us when we are teaching at the universities, how do we utilize that? And what do we want to instill in the graduates and future graduates of our, from our institutions? Yeah. So the approach will be intensive, and various of resources can be actually, will be, harnessed. So green economy, if we look at multiple of resources, it worth trillions. Some recorded about 2 to 3 trillions of worth of jobs or investment, for example. Some even quoted up until 7 trillions of US dollars of investment. So there's a huge, opportunity for institutions, for government incorporated, organizations to adopt and to adapt, yeah, the business opportunities outside the context. Why do I mention this as a problem statement? Because if we were to look at the terms of the competence, it is highly linked, or, correlated to the Roman, philosophy, which is the good Roman soldier. What does it mean by a good Roman soldier? Which means to say it is being shaped, being nurtured by the policies, by the rules and regulations. And if we were to study human behavior, for example, pelakuan organisasi, yeah, the collective human behavior in organizations will be changed to the perspective of rules and regulations. So we start off from that. Yeah. So we translate the big pictures of the economics, green economies, for example, we translate that into the, instill the value into the human resource in the organizations. When we are able to instill the directions of the organizations, we put the values of their contributions and their perceptions in the organizations, the human resource in the company will become a human capital in organizations. Now, we look at, we already look at the economies, the economics activities, the translations of the big pictures into a human resource perspective. So from HR, we'll delve into human capital with the worth of values in organizations. Why is it I mentioned about the monetizations or the valuations of economics on human resource? Simply because the organizations will have to identify the return on investment. Yeah. In Malaysia, public universities have been, supported very well. Yeah, in the, historical development of higher institutions in Malaysia. But in recent years, there is a requirement or, sort of a new way of doing things, which is related to income generations. Yeah. So this is where, when we put up the values, creations, value creations of human capital in organizations. So if we were to talk about green competency, it is comprised of what makes people to be innovative, to be competent, as well as to gain competitive advantage. Yeah. Keboleh daya saingan, yeah, I would say, yeah, competitive advantage, yeah, keboleh daya saingan, yeah, in Malay. So the thing is that when we know about the government, for instance, the directions of the green economies, say for example, Southeast Sulawesi, for instance, adopted, excuse me, the models of the green economy, for example, then universities and organizations could be looking into the green competencies. Yeah. Similarly, 10 years ago, when universities actually moving towards eco-campus, we instilled the green practices or eco initiatives into the teaching syllabus as well. So these are the modulations of the how we nurture the future talents in organizations. So for green competencies, that will be including the technical knowledge of renewable energy systems. Now, if we were to look at the pure management perspective, for instance, like HR students, for instance, or management students, they say we are not technologists. But the thing is that imagine that if the students or the future talents that we can grow, they do able to provide the financial advice, the human resource design and planning for for renewable energy corporations. Yeah, because this is what the industries is actually looking at. In Sabah, for the past 2 years, we have received one of the big major corporations from China that invested about 2 billion ringgit Malaysia in Sabah for solar panel, for solar panels manufacturing. They produce the solar panels, few thousand tons in a month. Yeah, so it is one of the big industries in Sabah that generate the revenue in the organizations. So to that we can see that the students at local universities, for example, University of Malaysia Sabah in in Sabah, we are not just there to provide the human capitals as based on our syllabus, but it is also to work on closely with the universities so that we can provide a specific trainings that is workable for them. Yeah. So this is the first perspective. Second, that will be on sustainable practices. Students, for instance, when we do financial reporting, for examples, probably we can actually lean them towards like green reporting initiative. Now I mentioned about the eco campus. Yeah, University of Malaysia Sabah started off as an eco campus, for instance. Then this year we are planning to develop more on the green reporting initiatives, GRI. Yeah, so currently we are looking into that particular perspective on that. Yeah, so human capital in the organizations or staff, employees in organizations will have to be familiar with the terms, not only with their job descriptions that they have, but it has to be related to the job descriptions being shared with them. Kepala departments, or head of departments, for instance, the normal job descriptions were no longer probably sufficient. If we were to use up the open open source on the website now, we can actually generate job descriptions using a certain tools provided online. So head of departments that are not involved in academics, pentadbiran, administrations, for instance, will have to relook the concept and the content of the job descriptions, how to add values based on the sustainable practices, so that it can be embedded, so that the universities can move forwards towards one directions. This is important. We are not saying that with the green initiative that is adopted by the organizations, it will add more to the job descriptions. Bukan begitu, bukannya dinyatakan bahwa apabila universitas mengadaptasikan green initiative, people will have more jobs. No, we actually enrich their jobs so that they feel the enrichments in the organizations. They feel they are contributing to the organizations. Because if we look at the organizational commitment of people in organizations, it involves 3 types of commitment. Komitmen kita di terhadap universiti ataupun organisasi itu, there are 3 types of commitment usually. One is effective, continuance, and normative. So how do we increase the motivations for people to get committed in organizations? Which means to say we need to instill the values so that when the job description itself, the fundamentals, work responsibilities, documents when we enter the universities, they understand about their roles in contributing to organizations. So I will say that is most important to it. So from the problem statements, I can actually done the summations on it. Green talent is part of the strategies to achieve sustainability goals. What does it mean by talent? It means that talente. What does it mean by talente? A weightage again. So if we were to look at the origins or the concept of competence with talent, for example, it is still goes back to the value of the organizations. Ya, sama juga seperti sebelum makan ini ya, selepas selesai, probably ask Dr. Nitri, how much do you value yourself, for example? So when I sample doctors as part of the respondents, yeah, in this talent development of studies that I've done, some doctors, they will say they are valued themselves as 500,000 to 1.2 million ringgit Malaysia. Ya, sebanyak seorang doktor itu ya, apabila kita tanya berapa nilai mereka, they will say about 500,000, 700,000, 1.2 million ringgit Malaysia. Those are the young doctors that is serving in hospital less than 5 years. Now the question is that if we were to have like doctors from the sampling frame that we have done, we frame it working less than 5 years, how come the range can be doubled from 500,000 to 1.2 million? So the question is that where does the discrepancy actually happens? 500,000 to 700,000 are those who studied in local or probably in Southeast Asian region. But those who go overseas far, for example, in Russia, for example, in India, for example, when you ask and you sample them, they will say the value is slightly higher, which is about 700,000 to 1.2 million. So when we ask them, inquire them, apabila kita tanya, yeah, when we ask them, how did you value about your 700 to 1.2 million? They say the scholarship that they obtained. The scholarship that they obtained. So we have the range of the doctors that working from a range of the value from 500,000 to 1.2 million. Now, we have reached the millions of dollars. Yeah, I know in Indonesia, we are millionaires, yeah, mostly everyone. Yeah. Apabila saya datang ke Indonesia, kita jutawan juga, ya. But we go back to the very basic one. There was one particular sample that I sampled who is professionals, yeah, at professionals level, equivalent to professors in university. I asked the professor, I asked the professionals, employees. One of them give a very different feedback. He or she said, he worth about 20 cents. 20 cents. 20 cents. Yeah, apabila kita tafsirkan, when we actually translate that into a professor's positions, for example, how come a professor, for example, that kind of levels of income and professionals, for example, with a PhD, valued himself at 20 cents? Now, if we were to look at the value of that particular employees or that particular, professionals, he said sometimes people's actually, without 20 cents, it's very difficult for you to enter the toilet. So if we were to look back, then actually he is looking to the needs of him from time to time. So what does it mean here is that we are not saying that when we put values in people's within the organization, it is not just about how much do they contribute to the organization, but what actually the organization means to them. Some organizations, the people they say they mean it's about 20 cents. MasyaAllah, 20 sen. Yeah. 20 sen, yeah, dengan gajinya, I'm not sure, in ringgit Malaysia is about 20,000 ringgit. Yeah, 20,000 ringgit, yeah. It's about 4,000, 5,000 US dollars roughly. But he valued himself about 20 cents. So when I interview and collected samples from the doctors, young doctors who serve less than 5 years, for example, they value their professions based on the scholarship that is given to them. There was one particular case study in between, from 20 cents to 1.2 million. I sampled one particular professionals. Salary is about 8,000 ringgit, 6,000 to 8,000 ringgit of income. I said to him, when we asked about the value creations of him, about his competency, he said, anyone that gives me 10,000 ringgit, I will resign straight away. You see or not, from 20 cents to 10,000 to 500,000, everyone will have the value. They inquired this particular respondent. I said, how did you derive from 10,000 worth? He said, I actually sample, I view myself, I value myself based on the 10,000 ringgit is because of the job that I have. Now, if I were to repeat this based on the job that I have, based on the job that I have done, on daily work that I have to do, I think, he said, yeah, I think my worth is about 10,000 ringgit. And that was in 2011. 10 years ago. Yeah, that particular respondent was 10 years ago, because this is a continuous research they have done. Yeah, value creations amongst human capital. So green economies is not just about the ideas, the philosophies, the strategies in organizations, but how to instill that. So this is part of the part of the small pieces that actually missing. Yeah, in terms of administrations and management perspective in that. So human resource is one of the resources in organizations. Other than human resources, I think what more important to organizations at upper top management is that the financial resources. So now this is the justifications where we breach the problem statement there. People's in organizations, the staff, the employees, they know about the value. But the thing is that they wanted to go for trainings, for example. Head of departments, the dean, dekan, yeah, well, dekan, rector, has to rectify, has to give approval. But asking money from the financial department, finance department, will be a difficult task. You have to provide the reasoning, regardless whether it's an inductive reasoning or deductive reasoning. You also will have to do a justifications. After attending training, participants or trainers that is being accomplish their trainings will have to provide a report. So these three processes is I won't say it's a tedious, but it is in procedures. However, if we are able to create that particular values, then that will be it. So human resource roles is not just for human resource departments. It is also the roles of everyone in organizations, head of departments, yeah, or in organizations, for example, our employees, yeah. Each one of us, we are having these particular roles so that we know what are the types of competencies that requires for this green initiative. I will not say green jobs, yeah, in this particular context, because if we are looking into the universities to say, to establish a green job, which means we have to create a new scheme or a new, job position. So we will say just a green initiative to be incorporated within the organizations. So for competencies that are essentials for green economies, that will be adaptability. What does it mean by adaptability? Is that I would say contextual, the moment of truth, the adaptations that can happen from time to time, for example, yeah. And of course, we have mentions about the technical skills, and as well as to utilize the collaborations with the agencies and opportunities that are available. In September, Sabah government has launched a conference, yeah, which is the Blue Economy Conference, also related to the initiatives that have been done for sustainable practices. So under the sustainable, economy, it is not just about green economy. There is also a blue economy. So, but the question is that whenever it is blue or green or red economy, perhaps, maybe a different colors, for example, in the future, it is still about sustainability. So when we look at the human resource, if we were able to put up the values into it, there will become a valuable human capital within the organizations that we can invest it, our resources in. So part of the roles, other than to to increase the competency, organizations such as universities will have to redesign or enhance or enrich the hiring, recruitment, and selections. So this is the direction, so that we know the employees that is about to join the universities, to join the organizations, whether it is a social organizations or business organizations, will have to understand about green initiative. So this is part of it, because hiring, recruitment, and selection are three different processes. Yeah, but in a HR perspective, we actually segregate it. It's an entirely different processes. So each of these processes, we can actually put up exercises or test even to that. Yeah. Second, to foster competencies, that will be on training and development. 3 minutes. Yeah, it is to provide learning opportunities to the green skills that people will have. What kind of green skills? When we talk about green initiative, they do know about green report initiating. They do understand about sustainable development goals. How does it relate to their department? How does it relate to their job functions, for example? And when it comes to performance management, probably can be include part of the initiative as such. Yeah. Then what are the strategies? We already talked about the initiatives. Then what about the strategies? You need to provide a proper training and development program. So if I were to sum up, the training and development is that what will be the major difference into it is that training is about to increase the competencies, yeah? The competencies of individuals, which comprise of knowledge, skills, and attribute for them to perform to increase their job efficiency. So this is directly linked to the job, performance. But for self-growth, self-enrichment, career development, job growth, for example, that will be a development courses. Yeah. I think I will echo back to Dr. Nitri just now when she introduced me as a speaker. She mentioned about the certifications that I have done. Yeah, recently, which is a talent development competency, competency-based talent management. Yeah. So that is a development program. But if I were to break down the whole program, it consists of 11 modules, which means to say I am a trainer that is certified for 11 modules. But in terms of career development, I am certified for a professionals executive diploma. So this is how we actually looking the perspective, yeah, from human resource perspective. It is not just a diploma, but it is a module based. So from trainings, I am equipped in this year, since last year, it's 11 modules within 11 months, actually 10 months, roughly, yes. So each of the modules actually increase the technicality, which is training. But for long run, it becomes a professional's diploma. So this is how we need to translate that. Because as a professor, as an academic, background of, professionals, we do understand about this. But the thing is that probably students will not know. Administrations probably will not knowing this unless if they are trained to do so. So this is the gap that we need to identify. Professor Chung mentions about, the major perspective, the macro perspective. In my case, I will look at into the micro perspective within the organizations. Yeah. So the strategies will include like certifications and mentorship as well. Now we mentioned about the job description as well. And what more important is that from there on, then only we can have the job engagement. The world has actually changed a lot. How does it change during the pandemic? What happened is that in South Korea, not North Korea, yeah, in South Korea. In South Korea, a lot of companies in South Korea started to use personality tests in job interview. In China, it has viral. Amongst the youngsters, if you go to China, you ask how many billions of people there. For example, yeah, millions of people of the youngsters, you can ask, what is your MBTI? They can answer you straight away. It's viral on TikTok. Yeah, because in 2020 to 2022, when there is a lockdown throughout the world, for example, what happened is that the youngsters in China, they started to venture into personality. Yeah. So MBTI is part of the tools that are being used in South Korea for professionals and for career. But the danger of disclaimer is that personality test shall not be used for future predictions. It can be used as an instrument for interview. We are saying that, for example, the result of your personality test, for example, if we were to test on green personality, for example, it shall not be used against you for the prospect of the job. It's just that to fit. We want to see whether the person's fit or not. And it shall not be the decisions. Yeah. The other disclaimer this in, yeah. It shall not be the decisions to approve or to disapprove the candidate. It is just a tools that can be used by the employers as the job interviewer. Yeah. So what are the challenges in green talents? Of course, resistance to change. Why do people resist to change? Because fear of the unknown. When there is a change in organizations, employees, without knowing what are the values that what is in for them, very difficult for them to adjust to it. So to break the ice or to have the icebreaker, we need to instill their contributions to the organizations. Our terms, we will say return on investment, betul ya? Tapi apabila it involves, when it involves administration staff, when we talk about ROI, they say, it's a KPI, key performance indicator. When we mention about KPI, which means to say it relates to their job evaluations. When it relates to job evaluations, it is related to their promotions, salary increment, for example, or annual increment, I will say. So it becomes like, wow, too much work, for example. But if we were to put up the value into it, we enrich them, say they can contribute to that, then that will be a different story. But towards the end, matlamatnya sama juga. Yeah, it's just that the way of doing things, on that perspective. Yeah. So all of this has to be done to ensure that the gaps of the skills can be addressed on with the limited resources. Yeah. So what are the solutions of it? Is that number one, it has to have the leadership commitment. Yeah, again, commitment itu terbagi kepada tiga. Yeah, if I were to sum up, yeah, effective commitment, normative commitment, and continuance commitment. Yeah. So on top of that, we can also design, yeah, learning programs, yeah, in for the training and development programs, which that will be a different sessions for me to share on. Yeah, how corporations actually instill learning in training and development programs. Yeah, which I will be happy to share, yeah, in the future. So to conclude, HR, regardless whether you are from HR departments or not, all of us, we have the roles to to conduct staffing functions in organizations, pure SLC staffing, in building green talent for the transitions towards a sustainable economy. Yeah. Second, to develop competencies, it is about adaptability, being contextual to the requirement of the technical skills that are required by the industries, as well as collaborations is one of the major key segments here. Last, to encourage HR professionals to take proactive steps in fostering green talent. This is important. So organizations, when we want to move towards a green initiative, green economy, blue economy, for instance, or any other types of colored economy in the future, HR will need to know how to translate the big picture to instill the values and creating the values to employees. With that note, thank you very much.
Well, it's not working. Is it working? Is it working? Not working. Thank you, Dr. Datu Razali. Ini sangat menarik ya, bahwa as the organization moves into sustainability organization, there must be a gap. Ya, ketika kita berubah menjadi sustainability organization, bagaimana HR kita bisa tes. So and in the university, as the main stakeholder as student, how we enforce our green competencies, yeah? Green competencies for the new skill, job opportunity, innovative, and the interesting one is how the valuation of people in your organization, yeah? As the professor, as the lecturer, you can value. Tadi 1,2 ringgit Malaysia sama dengan 3 miliar ya. Jadi seorang SDM kita bisa bernilai senilai 3 miliar jika dia misalnya dari scholarship ya, from their scholarship value, or just 20 cents. Bagaimana kita memberikan valuation ke SDM kita. Ini hal yang sangat menarik di session 2 ini. Silahkan Bapak Ibu ya untuk discussion. Ada Prof Buyung, ada Bu Sulis, ya, ada Prof Aidin. Mungkin Prof Buyung dulu, silakan.
Yeah, thank you, Dato. It's great your presentation. So, interesting your topic. Human resource role in the green economic transition. So maybe in the future you can all activity you can green, because all activity is green. So in this presentation, for example, green economic driver to investment, and then transition economic green competency. All this topic is interest, so the activity every day. And then maybe you can how to implementation for your Sabah maybe, yeah. You can give one example, yeah. So in my country, maybe it's new in the transition economic, how to implementation, maybe you can follow for how you, and then maybe had your result from your country. Thank you, Prof. Dato. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Next question, maybe Sulis. So the second question, yeah. Then Dr. Aidin. Sulis is from HR also, ya?
Yes.
HR management.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
It's kind of an honor for me to meet you because I'm really interested talking about green talent and human resources, something like that related to human itself. So right here, so before that, I'm going to introduce myself. I'm Sulisana Chavitri as a lecturer in Sekolah Tinggi Ilmu Ekonomi 66, and then as a representative of Southeast Sulawesi in one of Southeast Asian and Japanese program, international program, and then we are talking about human empowerment. So one of our program is organization and some stuff like that. So right here, we are talking about because my master degree, I have ever just like proposed one of my thesis related to green human, HRM itself, green human resources itself. But one of the lecturers said that Indonesia is not really ready for that because one of the problem is the enterprises and also the company itself is not ready for implementing the green itself, green things itself. So this is one of the important thing that I want to ask related to this because because we are a youth, really want to contribute to make organization and something like that. So what is the best benchmark that you can give solution for us as a youth based on the that have been implemented in Sabah University itself? So for example, like maybe 1, 2, 3 solution for us because we are just like lack of information and capacity of that. Maybe you can give us a kind of analysis like that. So yeah, that of my first question, and then the second question is that I'm also excited to talking about MBTI, personality test, and something like that because you have mentioned before, and then subsequently, is it? How far this test would affect on human itself if we want to make or if we want to build an organization compared to big personality, because I know that one of the scientific research only talking about big personality, not MBTI, Steven or something like that. So what do you think about it? Is it can be affect the entire organization or not? Thank you.
That's interesting question. So next question, Dr. Aidin, please. Any other participant?
Okay, thank you for moderator.
Thank you.
I want to appreciate to the Datu Razali as excellent presenters because so detailed and comprehensive and with the example. So that is very excellent. Yeah. Okay, I want to direct to the question. Maybe before I ask question, our title is related with economic transition. So we know that we have many economic system in the world, like capitalism system, economic capitalism system, communism, socialism, maybe Sharia, also Pancasila in Indonesia. Question is that we are going to move from one system to another. That is transition. Question is that which economic transition we start and to move to what economic system. So that is question. Whether we move from the capitalism economic to Sharia or from capitalism to environment economic or whatever. So that is very important. Okay, the second is that, second question, how to improve the quality and value of human resources, especially in rural regional, whether like the head of village or the head of, let's say, Bupati or Gubernur here, how to improve the quality and value of people in the rural area in order to get the economic, what is green economy. Okay, the next is how university, like a student or professor, to improve the quality and value in order to get the economic, green economy. For example, in Department of Accounting and Management in Halil University, there is no subject related to the natural resources and environment. So how students to learn green economy? There is no subject to be learned related to the natural resources and environment subject. So that is nonsense. So maybe you have like suggestion or recommendation in order to talk about, to us in order to let's say subject of natural resource and environment to be implemented in Faculty of Economic and Halil University. So for example, I think that's all. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you. All the participant is excited for the topic of green talent with the very resourceful presenter. Please, Dato.
Thank you. I know the lunch has been waiting. Just allow me to respond to these. Yeah, we talk about the green activities. Yeah, from professors' questions. Thank you very much. I will reflect on the case of my visit, mobility and benchmarking visit to my recent visit this year. I just grabbed the recent activities that we have done. When I visited for more than 5 universities in Shanghai of China, one of the universities that actually intrigued my mind is that when we enter the universities for benchmarking, the first thing that they show us is that the big data that they have. Now, we have been visiting a lot of universities, true or not? In Japan, in China, South Korea, for example. But how many universities are actually showing their big data to the visitors? So the big data is a big screen that actually entails how many classes are actually ongoing, what are the classes that are ongoing, who are the teachers, including who are the teachers that are replacing the other teachers that are teaching the subject. Say, for example, I'm not able to attend the class. Nitri will replace me, for example. Then people will know, in this particular hall, Nitri is taking up this subject. What courses is that? So the big data is available. Now, when I saw or I listened to the Professor's Chung presentation just now, I echo back my visit to Korea recently, and also I'll be going again in December. What interesting about the economy of South Korea? But the disclaimer is here. I'm not a South Korean. I'm Malaysian. The thing is that I may not know about their, industrial park zoning and all. But from a visitor perspective, I see that when the development of the district or provinces is actually well zoned. For example, the Tetoku in Tejon city that I visited, for example, in Tetoku, it has been zoned as a research business industrial park as well as a research center. Just like the presentations by Professor Chung just now. Professor Chung mentions about one particular province is emphasized on one particular productions. So when at local levels, when you have such kind of approach, easier for us to translate to the relationship with the universities. And we can see that the linkages of those universities that I visited, they have a strong partnership with the industries. So so those are the green activities that we can see. Now, looking back to the green initiative, for example, like the big data, for instance, it saved a lot of unnecessary process to obtain a real informations. All of it can be accessed from time to time, and they are using like robotic technology for check-in service and all. We are not talking about paperless counter to register for check-in, but we are talking about a robot that guide you to your room. Yeah. Last night, for example, yeah, when I wish one of the universities to go to their hotel, they said the robot will actually bring you to your room. I see. It's no longer like a lounge service and all, but the robot will actually guide you to your room
Where
and
is
you
that?
converse. That's in Shanghai.
In Shanghai,
Yes.
already robot.
Yes.
Wow.
And the room is actually they are using like they are using such kind of like a Siri device. Apple has launched this the Siri device, right?
Yeah, okay.
The
Siri.
the Siri. Yes.
Siri.
It's a device now.
Yeah.
Apparently, China has been doing it for so many years. In China, they have this Baidu, which is the Google versions of United States.
Okay.
So the Baidu, they call it as Xiaodu. Xiaodu means the small two is the one that actually communicate with you in your room.
Okay.
So we are talking about, it's not just about technology, but it cut down a lot of processes. Now, the question is that if we were to involve in green initiative, for instance, as what has been mentioned by ILO, it will reduce a lot of jobs, but there will be more opportunities.
Oh.
The only thing is that it will be more technical, just like the job of HR. People say, HR will be losing out the job because of the AI, introductions. But actually, it is just a tool that we can utilize. Yeah. So if I were to take up, as Professor mentioned just now, in the context of Sabah, how was it under the new leadership? Yeah, for the past 3 years and a half, Chief Minister Yang Amat Berhormat Datuk Seri Panglima Haji G bin Haji bin Noor actually established the slogan ataupun jata for state government, Sabah Maju Jaya. So sekiranya Universitas Halu Oleo datang ke Sabah, boleh dilihat Sabah Maju Jaya. So under the slogan of Sabah Maju Jaya, the 5-year strategic plan is that they initiated the recent one is the blue economy. So from the blue economy, it is they actually establishing about to launch the enactment related to thermal energy conversions enactment, diaktakan. So yang benda beginilah, we can see that from a government perspective, daripada yang policy yang besar itu, Hala 7 negeri, for example, the state directions translated into the state government, pihak berkuasa tempatan, and it's translated to the people. So as citizens of Sabah, we know the slogan is Sabah Maju Jaya. Then we know the blue economy, for example, has been launched recently. Then we know the government actually will be looking into the marine resources and all. So it's important to have such kind of leadership and the supporting team in terms of government initiative. Yeah, I think that will be my feedback to the respected esteemed professor. Second, about the human empowerment. Yes, which is true. The value creations will engage for empowerment. Empowerment, there will be a difference between empowerment and delegations. But I will just stick to empowerment then. It's just that as a human resource practitioners, we will look at when we actually are outsourcing the power to people, whether it is delegations or empowerment. So if we were to look at empowerment, for example, we will, the first time that EcoCampus has been established as the directions of the university, first one is that we engage our students as the ambassador. Then at that particular context, what we did is that we, University of Malaysia Sabah, we have a mascot that represent EcoCampus. The name of that particular mascot is actually Ari. Yeah, it's a sea turtle. So it is being instilled, at peoples who are visiting University of Malaysia Sabah or studying in University of Malaysia Sabah. And the second one, the solutions. Yeah, I missed out that particular perspective. Yeah, the question is about solutions. Yeah. Yeah. How does it derive solutions towards a green initiative? It takes a long process, I would say. It will not just overnight decisions, because whatever that we have actually teaching our students, for example, there is one particular alumni, for example, I re-interviewed recently. When we look at the students, he established the indoor farming. Indoor farming. He found like certain shopping complex which is left empty after COVID-19. With the empty spaces available in the shopping complex, he utilized it, he rented as a social entrepreneur for green initiative. He made it as an indoor, vertical farming. So what I'm saying here is that it is not just about, business put into practice, but it is also because of the awareness that they know. And they do understand that the business opportunities are there. Yeah, because to understand what the business requires is important. And I will say that a lot of enterprises, of course, they are looking into dollars and cents. But again, there are still rooms for improvement on that, which I will echo to that. Next questions, that will be on facility tests. Yeah, on facility tests. Now, remember I mentioned just now about facility tests, there is a disclaimer. This is very important as a as a HR practitioner. It shall not be made as the ultimate tools to decide the employment of one particular person. It is just a tool for intervention. So for examples, what I'm saying is that probably not just MBTI, there are a lot of tools that we can utilize. By practice, for instance, I can do, this is not just about me, but this is what HR people can do. Say, for example, if we want to know, if I were to gauge people's opinions or their perceptions towards green initiative, I can select a couple of photos that related to green initiative. I can select a couple of photos that are not related to green initiative, put up on screen, and you may choose. We can translate that into actions. Similarly, for example, tools, there are various tools that we can utilize to identify problems or human behavior, for example. Like for examples, like other than that, it will be like signature readings and all. So those are the tools that can be used as a test, for the employees. How accurate is that? I will not say it will be 100% accurate, because there is based on scientific research. Some will say personality is is a meta science, for example, or it is metaphysics, for example. It is not being proven, for example. But the thing is that it is usable as a tool. So it will be looked at, if you were to ask me, we personality tests will be a tools that can be used as interventions for human resource management perspective. And of course, it has been mentioned also when we when we look at the electronic human resource management or green human resource management. It's actually, yes, it's like putting an old wine into new bottles. It has been practiced for so long. It's just that the terms that people will use, whether or not what kind of terms that they use. Remember I said just now, whether or not it is a green economy, blue economy, or whatever colored economy that's coming up soon in the future, perhaps it is all about sustainable. So that's what I think Professor Chung also mentioned, highlighted something. If we were to look at it, people's or business, they look at sustainability, sustainable management, differently. So it depends again on the visions of the company. How will they define that for a sustainable practice? Some will look at how to sustain for business profit. It is also a sustainability. But is it a green sustainability? It may not. Some, they will say, we wanted to go for, to increase the income and profit for organizations, but we have to be responsible. It is also a sustainability management. So again, the sustainability terms is how we differentiate that and how we, coin it into the organizations. And third one, that will be on, I will echo this on the economic transitions. The words that have been used by, esteemed doctors is that transitions. And it is not transformations. As a leaders at the Bupati or governor, it's important for leaders, future leaders, know the difference between transitionals, transactionals, and transformational, so that the plan that has been developed can be digested and can be translated into a bigger picture. If we were to say transitionals, which means to say it is transactionals, it is a daily process that you change slowly. Whether or not it has been, historically has been done or not, or in the future, but it has to be done progressively. Now, the thing is that when we mention about the progressively, it can be intervened or, can be used a couple of tools, for example, like balanced scorecard, for example. Under balanced scorecard, we can develop other scorecards as well, like human resource scorecard or green human resource scorecard. So it depends again on the initiative of the organizations, regardless it is a social institutions like university or business institutions, how do they want to project the image of their company? So the scorecard can be used as part of the economic transitionals or transactionals plan. However, if the leaders or the young leaders or the future leaders or the current upcoming presidents wanted to go for transformations, for example, transformations towards a green economy, for example, then at organizations, again, whether it is a business organization or social platform, they have to know how to translate that particular transformational plan into transactionals. Yeah, dollars and cents count. From my experience is that there was one particular government, not Sabah government, one of the government in Malaysia appointed me as a consultant to develop the scorecard for them. But the tricky part is that it is a social platform. Social platform, which means to say it's a government platform that is not earning money, but spending money. So in terms of accounting, it is a cost center. We managed to make a 200,000 worth of cost operating center to generate income for more than 300,000 a year. So from a costing center is a cost center, we managed to develop that into the profit center. Again, it involves the communities and not as part of the resources. So again, if we were to have ample time, a design can actually be made. And then last one, that will be on the syllabus. Now, I like the words is nonsense. It comes from a sense, because nonsense. So the census is that if we were to look at the teaching syllabus, in Malaysia, we are lucky. I'm not quite sure in Indonesia context, but in Malaysia, we are governed by Malaysian Quality Assurance Agencies, MQA. So in MQA, any existing programs, we are allowed to make changes not more than 30%. So when the government of Malaysia last time wanted to increase 10 years or 20 years ago, so 15 years ago, the government wanted to instill entrepreneurship, keusahawanan, di kalangan mahasiswa, for example. We instilled some of the syllabus activities into the teaching syllabus, not more than 30%. There was one particular case study in Malaysia mentioned by my professor last time, my senior professors, my mentor. He said when the government wanted to instill the entrepreneurship to the physical teaching professors, for example, the professors was a bit resistant and reluctant to change, because he said, no way, we need to include entrepreneurship with physics. But again, there is way how to do that. For example, to incorporate, physicals, that involves entrepreneurship into the syllabus. It's doable. So that's the sensicles part of it, the syllabus. Again, we have to reflect on what is the allowance that is given by the ministry. Like in Malaysia, we are allowed to make changes not more than 30%. More than 30%, we have to go for the board for approval and to be approved to be at the Senate, and it has to be brought up to the higher, Ministry of Educations. That's the part of it. So I think there's one more questions about Bupati, the penggubal dasar yang menang pemilu. Betul Professor Doctor? Is it? Yeah. I had the privilege of, it just happened to be I had the privilege of, involved in politics since I was young. So I came from a political family. But the thing is that throughout my experience and in family venture into business, we do notice that the leaders that we need to choose is that, those leaders that are able to translate the big pictures. Again, kalau dia bersifat transformatif, we need to ask, what is your next plan of actions? Is it transformational towards transactions? Bagaimana dilaksanakan seumpamanya? Sebab pemilihan umum akan berlaku di Indonesia. So lihatlah pada slogan-slogan calon-calonnya itu. Look at the slogan. Then it's important. Then during the campaign, if there is an open sessions, then we can actually inquire what is the strategies initiative for them. So from there on, we can know the future directions of the future leaders are as such. I think I will respond to that. Yeah? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dato. Kita harus memilih yang pemimpin yang sustainable, ya. Thank you for all the question and very what the new spirit of discussion for sustainability. So, excuse me. This is the key question is how we generate sustainable economic transformation with from human resource, from university to generate the green economy, yeah, to generate the green competencies, yeah. So the green competencies should create job opportunities. So we don't have to worry for losing jobs because the green competencies also create opportunities, the new job opportunities. Is it that the closing remarks? So the discussion, no more question from participant, enough. So we also the time for, I think, for the break. Yeah. Thank you so much for Datu Rajali bin Datu Eranza. Thank you so much for the very insightful presentation for the new green talent in sustainable economics. And for all the participant committee, the chair, the dean, the vice dean, and all the participants who already involved, and stay tuned for the half day. We are going to have the second, after the break, yeah? The second session with the other keynote speaker. But for now, thank you very much. This is the end of the session. Mohon maaf untuk segala kekurangan. We're going to have the lunch break. Yeah. Give the warm applause for Datu Rajali bin Datu Eranza. Thank you so much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Saya kembalikan ke MC.
Iya, baik. Sekali lagi kami ucapkan terima kasih kepada Bapak narasumber Datuk Razali bin Datuk Eranza serta moderator Ibu Ibu Dr. Nitri Mirasia PhD. Baiklah Bapak Ibu hadirin yang kami hormati, untuk selanjutnya kita masuk di sesi kedua pemaparan materi oleh narasumber Profesor Dr. Abdurrahman Kadir MSI dan Ibu Dr. Rita Pidani SE MBA.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the second session with presentation from Professor Dr. Abdurrahman Kadir MSI, Chairman of the Association of Indonesian Faculties of Economics and Business AFEBI, and Dr. Rita Pidani SE MBA from Newcastle Business School, Singapore. And for this session, we ask for the willingness of the moderator, Mrs. Sulistiani Shafitri MM, to guide. Its time is yours.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. How are you guys? Are you feeling good with lunch break today? Okay. So it is kind of an honor for me to participate as a moderator of this second session. Literally, it is about the panel session 2. And then, as mentioned by the Master of Ceremony before, we would like to have 2 keynote speakers today. The first one is Professor Abdurrahman, and then the second one is Dr. Rita Pidani. Well, before we jump into the next, to call the speaker today, I would like to greet our outstanding keynote speaker today, Sir Professor Abdurrahman. Are you already in Zoom meeting?
Ready? Okay,
Yes.
ready?
Yes?
Okay, ready?
Okay. So today, Professor Dr. Abdurrahman Kadir, MSE, CIPM, CRA, CRP, CWM, as the Dean of Faculty of Economy and Business, Universitas Hasanuddin. And then the topic that Professor Abdurrahman will discuss today is about realize the green economy for a prosperous Indonesia. And then the curriculum vitae, I would like to read the curriculum vitae. Professor Dr. Abdurrahman Kadir has expertise related to UN Sustainable Development Goals, or SDG number 3, good and health well-being. Number 7, affordable and clean energy. Number 8, design work and economic growth. Number 9, industry, innovation, infrastructure. And number 14, life below water. Professor Dr. Abdurrahman, as the head of DPN AFEBI Indonesia 2017 until 2021, as a member of Association of Management Expertise in Indonesia, and also as a member of Association of Indonesian Lecturer, or ADI, and also as a fellow of American Academy of Project Management, FAAPM, and experience in research and journal writing. So I'm about to call our speaker today, the Honorable Professor Dr. Abdurrahman. Time is pleasantly yours.
Thank you, Master Ceremony. What's your name? Miss
Sulis.
Tulis, Miss Tulis. Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. What time is my presentation? How long?
It's around 30 to 40 minutes, sir.
40 minutes?
Yeah, 30 to 40 minutes with Q&A session.
Okay, thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good day, Honorable Professor Dr. Muhammad Zamrun, Rector, University of Haluleo. The Honorable Professor Dr. Laudi Anto, MSc, AK, KACA, Dean of Faculty Economics and Business Faculty, Haluleo University, and invite speakers, Dr. Rita Pidani, MBA, come from Newcastle Business School, Singapore, Datu Rizali bin Datu Iransa, University Malaysia Sabah, Professor Jiang Chang, PhD, Sehan University, Cheonan, Republic of Korea. And ladies and gentlemen, my presentation, realize green economy for a prosperous Indonesia. Please, slide number 1. Okay. Okay. No. Okay. Oke, nampak ini Ibu saya. Oke. Baik. Realize green economy for a prosperous Indonesia. Slide number 1. The vicious cycle of the triple planetary crisis. How do we respond? The triple planetary crisis refers to three major interconnected threats facing our planet today: climate change, biodiversity loss, and pollution. These crises are global challenges that affect the environment, society, and economy worldwide. Climate change, the increase in global temperatures cause of human activities, especially the use of fossil fuels, has led to extreme weather events, rising sea levels, and disruption in global climate patterns. The second, biodiversity loss. Ecosystem around the world are deciding due to the deforestation, over-explanation, and habit destruction. The threatened species and ecological process that are essential for the environment's health. Number three, pollution. Harmful waste, chemicals, plastic emissions are causing severe damage to the land, water, and air. Pollution not only harms human health, but also destroys ecosystem. Addressing this crisis requires a holistic approach, like the green economy, which promotes sustainability, economic growth, while balancing development and environmental conservation. Now, the relentless vicious cycle, the triple planetary crisis, climate change, biodiversity loss, and pollution continues to severely affect both human development and natural ecosystem. The crisis exhibits vulnerabilities, threatening livelihoods and creating long-term environmental damage. The green economy strategy offers a vital solution by transforming these destructive cycles into virus one. Okay. Indonesian economic growth tracks, challenge, and results. Indonesian economic growth has been built on rapid expansion of resource-based industry, particularly mining, energy, agriculture, and forestry. This growth has been accompanied by structural change in the economy, including a shift away from primary industries and expansion of the service sectors. Economic growth has brought prosperity to many people. However, Indonesia's growth path has while enhanced resource efficiency, inclusively, and community-based. It's essential for achieving various economic and social goods, including food and energy security, and reduce pressure on the environmental and national resources. For Indonesia, green economic growth expected to have 5 outcomes, which stimuli from Green Growth Framework, GGF. The expected results are sustainable growth, inclusive and equitable growth, social, economic, environmental relations, and ecosystem that healthy and productive in providing environmental service, reduction of greenhouse gas emission. What will happen in the long term? Indonesian projections of 2045 until 2060. Environmental and climate, a future challenge to business and national development. if the future, Indonesia projected to face very serious challenges due to climate change and environmental degradation. If the current development approach continues without significant change. Number one, temperature increase and economic impact. What? Energy demand in Indonesia expected increases default by 2060 is mainly driven by continuous economic growth and population expansion. If Indonesia continues to early heavily of fossil fuels, carbon emission will rise bring the effects of climate change and increasing the risk of environmental demands. Number two, therefore increased energy demand 2016. Number three, reduction in forest cover. By 2045, Indonesian forest cover is predicted to decrease to only 45%. This loss of forest will not only reduce Indonesian ability to absorb carbon emission, but also lead to biodiversity loss and ocean natural disaster such as flood and landslides. Water crisis, a water crisis. Indonesia also expected to face an absorbing water crisis by 2045. Approximately 9.6% of Indonesian territory projects experience water shortage, especially in densely populated area and regions experiencing environmental degradation. This will impact security, public health, and overall quality of life. Decline key habitat area for endangered species to 49.70% by 2045. Okay. What of King Indonesia downward in 2015? Indonesian in 2050 is an advanced and cohesive post-industrial democracy, which includes an archipelago with highly diverse and interconnected culture and natures, and reflect to nation motto Bhinneka Tunggal Ika, or different but still one, a green Indonesia, achieve per capita income per capita of 32 billions of USD. Population growth has been even and is population of 315 billion in educated, healthy, and economically productive, ranking in the 10% of the global social progress index. Ecosystem services are value and sustainable in both urban and rural areas, which are highly independent and resilient to climate change and other disturbance. Now, ladies and gentlemen, global transformation from green to blue economy. The transition, a green to blue economy represent of shift in focus from primary land-based renewable energy practice to more ocean-centric. Sustainable efforts. Here's an overview the transformation. Green economy biasa disebut sebagai ekonomi hijau, ya. Land-based renewable energy, harnessing renewable source like solar and wind power on land. A green bar building, developing eco-friendly building that minimize energy consumption and waste. Sustainability agriculture, farming a practice that protect the environment, biodiversity, and land resource. Green, blue economy, hybrid, green and blue economy hybrids. Water infrastructure, pollution prevention, plastic recycles, research infrastructure, marine transportation, and ocean renewable blue economy. Blue marine protection conservation, sustainability research, marine tourism, ocean renewable energy. From right to approach, to read approach, to sustainability development and green economy. Green including economy, blue economy, biodiversity, local on climate resilience, water cycles, ecosystem potential, crime capacity, credential economy, and blue economy. Here, green inclined, blue, green including blue economy. Yes. Okay. The right of real approach, the holistic environmental management strategy that integrates the conservation, sustainability of use natural resources for a plain area, rise to coastal and marine ecosystem, reefs, the comprehensive approach, knowledge that interconnects ecosystem, emphasizing the need to manage land, water, and marine resource together for long-term sustainability. Three key elements: land degradation, biodiversity loss. The second, water resource management. Yes. The three, coastal and marine ecosystem. Land management, right? Sustainable agriculture practice. The second, forest conservation and reforestation, soil and water observation, prevention of erosion and land degradation. Water resource management, ensuring clean and abundant freshwater supply, protecting waters and rivers, and managing water and pollution. The third, coastal and marine ecosystem, protection and coral reefs, sustainable fisheries and marine biodiversity conservation and pollution control, particularly plastic and chemical waste. Go towards sustainable development. The right of reef approach aligns with sustainable development goals, SDGs, by promoting balanced economic growth while protecting the environment. It integrates communication and conservation efforts, encourage sustainability livelihoods, and mitigate an impact of climate change. Green economy transition by using natural resource responsibility across rights and the reefs. This approach support this shift to green economy. Okay, the new economic paradigm. Green economy comprise a low carbon terrestrial economy, terrestrial economy, and blue economy. green economy include blue economy, low carbon terrestrial economy, yes, and blue economy, low carbon coastal and marine based economy. The new economy paradigm aims to integrate economic growth with environmental sustainability, drive by two components: low carbon terrestrial economy and blue economy. Number one, balancing growth with environmental benefits, applying circular economy, low carbon emission, creating value added and improving productivity, considering carrying capacity. Yeah. Economic transformation based on sustainability development goals, this new paradigm with sustainable development goals by promoting an inclusive, resilient, green economy. It advanced objectives such as responsible consumption and production. SDGs number 12. Climate action SDGs number 13. And life below water and 40 and 50. And willing aiming for economic property SDGs number 8. This transformation requires collaboration across sectors and countries shift toward a sustainable economic models that protected both the environmental and human well-being. The interaction between low carbon economy of terrestrial and coastal marine, blue economy. When can go green without the blue. Okay. Now, green economy strategy including blue economy in the framework of Indonesian economic transformation towards Indonesia as 2045 low carbon and climate resilient development is the backbone. Economic transformation strategy plan, the backbone, and green economy. Okay, the backbone, a green economy, low carbon development. Website, waste management and circular economy, green industry development, sustainability energy development, blue carbon sustainable land recovery, climate resilience development. Yeah, this aspect emphasizes the need to adapt to climate change impact while promoting economic growth. It improves and changing the resilience of communication ecosystem to climate-related risk. Key initiatives include disaster risk reduction strategy, ecosystem-based adaptation, and sustainability urban planning. Low carbon development and climate resilience as the backbone within Indonesia green economy, low carbon development. Green industry, blue carbon, and sustainability. Bappenas, with the support of development partners, Bappenas, Badan Perencanaan Nasional in Indonesian language, Bappenas, Badan Perencanaan Nasional, with the support development partners, is developed national strategy of wasteland management, peat and mangrove ecosystem as contribution to achieving emission reduction targets in the sustainable development goals. This strategy includes measure and sustainable management of peat and mangrove ecosystem, facilitate the restoration of the green ecosystem, strengthen local capacity for conservation and sustainable natural resource management, support collaboration between governments, communication, the private sector to achieve emission reduction goals. Low carbon development climate resilience as backbone within Indonesia green economy, climate resiliency policy, climate resiliency policy, economic impact. So the climate resilience development policy, economic losses project, a period 2020 until 2024 has have the potential to decrease significantly, especially the policy aimed to reduce this loss from Indonesian rupiah 545 trillion to a decrease of 51.7%. This reduction reflects the effectiveness of implementing resilience strategies and investment and sustainable infrastructure, disaster risk management, and ecosystem conservation. What benefits will Indonesia gain with green economy is achieved? What benefit? Apa kira-kira manfaat yang Indonesia dapatkan ketika kita menjalankan green economy? Benefit will gain Indonesia achievement green economy. The first, significant emission reduction. IT7 until 96 billion tons of CO2, GHG emission saved over 2021 until 2060. Economic growth, average GDP growth 6.1 until 6.5% per year until 2050. Okay. Improve public health. Improve public health. 400 lives saved in 2045. Due to reduce air pollution, leading to better health outcomes and decrease healthy costs. Ecosystem restoration and protection, economic opportunity relations to climate change. Yes. Okay. Nah, masa depan green economy, toward the future of green economy, the importance of measuring the green economics progress. Yes, environmental pillar with 5 indicators. Yes, green economy index, environmental, social economy. Green economy index consistent of 50 select indicators that represent the 3 pillars of sustainable development: economic, social, and environmental, developed based on a low carbon development and climate relations model combined with global green economy reference. Okay, Indonesian model, ya. Indonesian key findings Indonesian green economics. Economic indicator show significant importance, particularly in the final energy intensity, which has increased from 34 in 2001 to 74 in 2020. The high scoring indicators. Very good score, 75. Indonesian Green Company score of 59.7 in 2020. Yes. Economic indicators, the most progressive, especially in final energy intensity, which the score has increased from 34, 2001 to 17, 2020. Yes. Yeah. Okay, challenge and opportunity implementing green economy, implementing green economy towards Indonesian NZA. Okay. High investment needs. The second, risk standard assets. The third, technology and knowledge gap, workforce migration to green jobs. Challenge, opportunity, green jobs creators. Yeah, this is reasoning. Decarbonization of urban area, implementation of green building, electric public transportation, use renewable energy, restoration of urban, carbon pricing implementation. Yeah, now Indonesian carbon pricing implementation. The carbon trending and non-trending scheme called help increasing funding for low carbon activity. The rising of SG trends, interest in SG among business has increased in recent years, which will encourage green investment, increase demand for sustainability related regulation and reliable ESG data and reporting system. The last slide. Collaboration between stakeholders toward green economy and sustainable future. Co-creation collaboration toward pentahelix interaction to achieve green economy toward NZ. Green technology R&D. Example, electrolyzer for green hydrogen. Curriculum development for green economy, supporting the development relevant curriculum to ensure that human resource and skill the green economy. Faculty Economy and Business, your open study program, study program ekonomi lingkungan. Jadi itu sangat tren sekarang, because supporting the development relevant curriculum, they ensure that human resource and skill the green economy. Lingkungan, ekonomi lingkungan include green economy curriculum. Policy making and enable condition, creating policies, and establish enabling condition the growth of the green economy. Developing of green investment schemes, developing green investment to schemes attract investment to support sustainable initiative, integrated waste management, energy conservation and synergy excellent, innovation, technology and development innovation. Why for what? Indonesian has why for what? Langkah selanjutnya apa yang kita harus lakukan? Indonesian has shown clear evidence that pursuing a green economy and blue economy toward low carbon and climate resilient development is essential for future progress. Development of the green economy in Indonesia will be guided by the Green Economy Index, which will integrate it into the RPJM 2025 and until 2029 National Medium Terminal Development Plan and RPJN 2025 until 2045 National Long-Term Development Plan, the Bappenas Ministry of National Development Planning will speed the implementation, monitoring, and evaluation of achievement is green economy. It's the crucial to ensure the formulation a strategy decision regarding the green economy accompanied by clear scenarios and roadmap. It includes consideration for funding, technology, deployment, and green investment to effectively transition toward a sustainable future. By focusing on 3 strategic action. Finally, by focusing on this strategic action, Indonesia can further exchange its commitment to environment, sustainability, and economic relations. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you so much for the very insightful explanation related to, it is very important right now to realize how to enhance, and also related to green economy to enhance the prosperity of Indonesia, of course. So right here, I'm about to conclude related to this topic today. Indonesia has demonstrated evidence that green economy and blue economy really important right now for the Indonesian prosperity through low carbon and climate resilience development is the way to go ahead. And also Bappenas also will lead the process regarding implementing, planning, and also it is about the monitoring and evaluating the green economy achievement. So thank you so much for the explanation, sir. Well, we are going to open the Q&A session. Please raise your hand. Okay, so the woman behind of this hall, the microphone.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
My name
Kalau mau
is,
bertanya dalam bahasa Indonesia silakan, dalam bahasa Inggris silakan. Semuanya bisa.
Okay,
Ini
okay.
mix.
It's okay, thank you. My name is Puspa Dewangga. I'm a lecturer from Economic Development Department. So my question is, how can Indonesia balance the demands of rapid economic growth in sectors like palm oil and coal with its commitment to green economic principle and climate goals? Like we know, there are so many challenges like with regulatory enforcement, social inequality, and the needs for sustainable financing for renewable energy projects. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you so much for the question, Miss. Well, is it possible for the sir to answer the question? Langsung dijawab Bapak pertanyaannya?
Oh, oke.
Boleh? Oh ya boleh,
Nggak
silakan.
dikumpulin dulu.
Oh dikumpulin
Sampai 3.
dulu. Oke, ada pertanyaan selanjutnya? No more, oke. Katanya no more Pak. Boleh langsung dijawab Pak. Terima kasih.
Oke. Please repeat your question. Please repeat.
Oh, repeat the question. Boleh sekali lagi?
Yeah. No concentration because okay, signal tidak
Oh yes,
jelas
sorry.
Okay.
Iya, iya Pak, akan kami ulang Pak pertanyaannya.
Please your question.
Okay, so my question is, how can Indonesia balance the demands of
How
rapid
can Indonesia
economic
balance?
growth?
Yes.
in sectors like palm oil and coal, with its commitments to green economic principles and climate goals. Like we know, there are so many challenges like weak regulatory enforcement, social inequality, and the need for sustainable financing for renewable energy project. Thank you.
Oke, thank you. Oke, saya paham. Ini Pak Herman Cahyo Diarto. Ini, please, Herman Cahyo Diarto, silakan. Ini the second question. Herman
Okay,
Cahyo Diarto.
the second question from the online Zoom meeting. Is there
Please.
okay? So, Sir Herman Cahyo Diarto, time is yours, please.
Okay, thank you very much, moderator. Please introduce. My name is Herman Cahyo as a lecturer from University Jember, and so in coordinator program study program. Salam kenal, Prof. Rahman Kadir. Yeah. I have any question for you and Mr. Abdul Qadir. If everyone in learning in economic science divide it in two model. The first model is linear model, and so it's the main linear model take, use, and dispose. And this is the first model is not adaptation in environmental and show the main impact for the crisis environmental and the crisis. And the second model is circular economics. The second model in economics, this is adaptation in environmental and not impact in environmental crisis. And so in Indonesia government in structure APBN does not allocation from environmental protection. Why? Why in an APBN does not protection environmental? What is the mean?
Yes.
And this is the first question. The second question, I know in accounting in national production, GNP in Indonesia is not use green GNP. Why? Thank you very much for Abdul Rahman.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for the question. Is there any question from the online and offline participant?
Enough to present. I am
If enable, sir, to answer the question.
enough. Session 1 enough to. Okay. The first question. The new economic paradigms to integrated economics growth with environmental sustainability driven by two components, low carbon and terrestrial economy and blue economy. Why? Not only green economy. Yeah. Because balancing growth with environmental benefits. Yes. The second, apply circular economy. The third, low carbon economy. And create a value added and improve productivity. Yeah. These principles focus on fostering innovation and technology advancement that lead to higher economic outputs with lower environmental impacts, generation growth in sectors such as renewable energy, ecotourism, and green manufacturing. Yes. Nah, transformation economy basis on SDGs. Yeah. The new paradigm aligns with the Sustainable Development Goals by promoting inclusive, realism, and green economy. It advanced objectives such as responsible consumption and production. While aiming for economic prosperity, the transformation requires collaboration across sectors and countries to seek sustainable economic models that protect both the environment and human well-being. The intersection between low carbon economy of terrestrial and coastal marine, a blue economy, bahasa Indonesianya kira-kira begini. Kita tidak mungkin jadi hijau tanpa biru. Sebaliknya, kita tidak bisa menjadi biru tanpa hijau. Jadi, we can go green without the blue. Yes. Low carbon terrestrial economy and green technology innovation, sustainable agriculture, resource conservation, the blue economy, low carbon coastal and marine based economy. Semuanya ini in all is all memberikan nilai tambah kepada sustainability growth economy Indonesia until 2045 until 2060. Saya kira begitu, Mbak. Jawaban saya secara umum, tidak spesifik, tetapi kurang lebih seperti itu. Mr. Herman Cahyo Diarto, Jember ya? Dari Jember, Pak?
Ya, betul, Bro. Ya,
Jember.
betul, Bro.
Salam dengan Ibu Istifada ya.
Ya, siap, Bro.
Two models in economics. The first linear programming models, econometrics, dengan asumsi-asumsinya. The second, ekonomi lingkungan. Ya, the second, pembangunan sustainability development, pembangunan berkelanjutan tanpa mengganggu lingkungan. What for? Why? How? Ya. Oke. Ini pertanyaannya susah saya jawab ini, tapi saya akan menjawab secara tuntas. Ya. Oh ya, the second question, why not tidak ada di dalam era APBN kita, Pak ya? Seperti itu.
Ya, dalam APBN tidak ada environmental protection.
Yes, oke. Okay.
Dan kenapa APBN kita itu nggak pernah green APBN itu, green GNP? Ya, berarti kan brown GNP kan not implementation green economic in economic Indonesia.
Yes. Indonesia, Republik Indonesia sadar three major interconnected threats affecting our planet today: climate change, biodiversity loss, and pollution. And this crisis is a global challenge that affect the environment, society, and economy worldwide. Why in Indonesia APBN not include isu lingkungan, isu green economy? Why? Yes. Because Indonesian growth has been built on the rapid expansion the resource-based industry, particularly mining, energy, agriculture, and forestry. But Indonesia, a future makmur, selalu berpikir kemakmuran. Pernah enggak dalam undang-undang kita ada tertulis tentang lingkungan ekonomi? Pernah enggak perubahan yang kita sebut dengan apa sih undang-undang dasar 45 kita dirubah?
Amandemen.
Di amandemen. Ada enggak? Not amandemen Indonesian, not this ekonomi lingkungan first priority. Ekonomi hijau first priority. No. Because Indonesian a future kemakmuran sejahtera. Pernah enggak ada undang-undang amandemen mengatakan tidak boleh merusak lingkungan. Merusak lingkungan penjara atau melanggar undang-undang dianggap melawan negara. Pernah enggak? No. Untuk itulah kita berseminar hari ini menyampaikan pandangan kita. Ya, bahwa ini kita salah. Kita ini punya teori banyak tentang green economy, tapi tidak ada pun satu berbicara dalam peraturan, dalam undang-undang. Semuanya pun dalam peraturan-peraturan, tidak di dalam undang-undang. Itu pentingnya kita berdiskusi pada hari ini. Nah, oleh karena itu saya coba melihat ya, the importance achievement this growth to illustrate by coming two scenarios. This business as usual scenario based on recent trend resource and energy intensity the Indonesian economy. Jadi kita melihat bahwa tren tentang instansi sumber daya energi perekonomian Indonesia dan intensitas karbon dalam persediaan energi Indonesia. Nah, yang kedua bertentangan Pak. Ya, skenario hijau, the recent trend resource energy industry. The other hand, the green economic growth scenario, assumption gradual change in energy intensity in the economy and carbon intensity the energy system. Okay? Dan semuanya diatur dalam percepatan, perlindungan, peraturan-peraturan, but which have been so possible in other countries. The benefits in alternative scenario include higher quality economic growth, accelerated structural change, increased productivity, resource and energy, improve environmental protection. Ada Menteri Lingkungan Hidup, tetapi hutan ditebang terus, tambang digali terus. Tidak ada kan aturannya. Ya kan? Nah, saya kira the green economic scenario shows the reduced resource intensity in Indonesian economy aligns with continued rapid economic growth. By gradually approaching best practice examples, Indonesia can reduce environmental demand while maintaining fast economic growth. The result a stronger economy with greater prosperity for more people. Saya kira begitu, Pak. Ya, jadi kata kuncinya adalah kalau kita melakukan amandemen, salah satunya adalah berbicara tentang betapa harus kita masukkan dalam berbagai macam peraturan tentang ekonomi hijau, ekonomi lingkungan. Saya kira itu. Kasih. Oke, saya tidak sampaikan dalam bahasa Inggris, saya sampaikan dalam bahasa Indonesia. Saya sampaikan kepada kolega saya dekan, Pak Laude, Prof. Laude, atau Sivitas Akademika Fakultas Ekonomi yang ada di Haluleo. Nomor satu, kita tidak usah memikirkan banyak hal, tapi saya minta dengan hormat, Universitas Haluleo membuka program studi ekonomi lingkungan. Ekonomi lingkungan. Di dalamnya ada 3. Accounting-nya, manajemennya, dan ekonomi hijaunya. Kenapa? Karena sekarang ini, seperti yang dikatakan tadi Pak Herman Cahyo, bahwa kita ini mengalami masalah yang paling berat, yang secara jangka panjang nanti kita rasakan adalah ekonomi lingkungan. Persoalan keberlanjutan kehidupan kita ini. Oleh karena itu, Prof. Laude, saya pesan sebagai sesama dekan, janganlah semua di Unhas dibuat. Bikinlah di Haluleo yang menjadi trademarknya Haluleo, bahwa Fakultas Ekonomi dan Bisnis punya Departemen Ekonomi Lingkungan. Di Unhas sudah ada teknik lingkungan, Fakultas Teknik. Janganlah di Unhas lagi dibuat ekonomi lingkungan. Cukup di Kendari. Dan itu menjadi trademarknya ke depan. Itu saja closing statement saya. Tidak ada kaitannya dengan paper saya, tapi pesan saya kepada para kolega di Haluleo, segera dibuat itu ekonomi lingkungan, dan pasti banyak beasiswa yang diberikan oleh Bappenas berkaitan dengan ekonomi lingkungan. Semua program studi ekonomi itu sudah jenuh, tapi ekonomi lingkungan belum ada yang mikirin itu. Mari kita buat, dipusatkan di Haluleo. Saya kira itu saja komentar saya, Mbak.
Baik, terima kasih Pak atas closing remarks-nya. Give applause to our first speaker today. Okay, so thank you so much, sir, for the insightful explanation related to green economy for the Indonesian prosperity. So before we go to the next speaker, I would like to check first Bu Dr. Rita Pidani, if in the Zoom meeting right now.
Hello, yes, I'm here now. So sorry with the hiccups. I just finished my class, so yeah, can join now, yes.
we're
Maybe we can
about
answer those two
Yeah.
questions first, Rizky,
Yeah,
because
if
I
enable-
think it's gonna be it's gonna be hard for me to remember all the questions at the same time. So let me just address those two questions first, and then we can move on with the next question. Is it possible?
Okay, so it means that we're going to repeat the first question, or
No. You don't have to repeat. No, don't have to repeat. I just want to just address these two because I can still recall it. Otherwise, I forgot the essence of the first and the second one. So let me just address the first one. So to increase the awareness, of course, this is depends a lot on the how it's not an easy process to increase the awareness. Of course, it depends a lot on a lot of factors, such as educations. And I can see that during the Suharto era, I'm not really like imposing that Suharto is the best president of Indonesia. But during the Suharto, there are some. I can see that the initiative from the government to increase the awareness, the people awareness, even though the education level at the time maybe is not as good as now. But you can see that the initiatives from the top level is very intensive in order to educate people about the about the environment, about many things. So these public campaigns are there during that era. I can see that. And I see that those initiatives are now disappearing. I don't know why, but I would like to emphasize that is actually a very good process provided by the government in that era to educate people, because the public campaigns is not just is very important, right? So to address social issues, yeah. So in Australia, for example, you can see from the TVs, right? So from all media, for example, if they want to address tobacco consumption or cigarette consumption, for example, by peoples, they will address it in a very intensive way. And then this one is more like a top-down process rather than bottom-up. So there are experts in the field that can actually design what kind of content that they will provide in the public campaign that will be then advertised on TVs or other media. So they have experts in the field. So the government will hire them, and then they will address that, on a consistent basis. So you can see the difference. Of course, there are a lot of people who are, do not really want to know, because this is more than just it's more than just the ability to purchase. It's more like addictions. So people's in Australia, for example, even though there are public campaigns about the dangers of smoking, for example, there are of course people who are negligent. They don't really bother with these things, and then they continue with these smoking habits. But there are people who are being informed by these campaigns, and they are being affected, and they reduce their consumptions. At least they're reducing their consumptions, or basically using dangerous things, consumptions of alcohol, for example. So remember that alcohol is the second biggest killers in Australia after cardiac arrest. And then the reasons why the government becomes very concerned about the alcohol consumption, because in every 6 kilometers there are actually liquor shop, and then you can easily get it once you reach that age of 18 years old. You can easily get the alcohol from these liquor shops, and this is affecting the health, definitely. And then of course you can see that the domino effect of this at the end of the day, because once they get older, of course there are a lot of diseases they will suffer because of this because of this alcohol consumptions during the early years of the age. So but the government do not give up. So what they do, they keep campaigning about the dangers of consuming all these unnecessary things. And then because at the end of the day, they will be the one who's actually also bear the consequences by paying, for example, the health bills of these peoples, right? because you know, remember that citizens and permanent residents in Australia are covered by the government almost like full 100% full coverage if they go to the either public hospitals or private hospitals. So it's actually something which is necessary. And at the end of the day, you can cut the cost, because what happens if the society are aware of this the side effects of, you know, doing stupid things, or doing not stupid things, but doing harms to the environment, for example, or doing harms to yourself, right? It's actually cutting the cost of the government at the end of the day, because you can see the examples in Australia. So what happens that the government managed to reduce the social security budget allocations, and then also the health security, the health insurance coverage as well for their citizens, because they keep, you know, doing these positive things to influence the awareness of the public, of the society. So it's not really just the effect is not just for the community or the society themselves, but it's also for the government for the sake of their budget allocations at the end of the day. Yeah, so that is my answer for the first questions. For the second question, I think the budget allocations. Sorry, can you repeat the key words of the second question, Prof. Sujono?
Okay, so what's your idea about the financing of green economics compared with your country? No, I don't know you as a PR or not yet, but I hope you don't going to Australia as Australian, okay? What's your idea about financing green economics, especially compared with Australian government? Thank you.
Yeah, so I think the same things apply for the second question. So I think this is important. This is very important for the government to look into this aspect seriously, because at the end of the day, is going to cost the government themselves if they're sort of like ignoring the importance of allocating budget for this particular green economic concept. Because I mentioned earlier, so the campaign provided by the government is actually for their own good sake at the end of the day, because they can cut costs. At the moment you have, if you consider the allocation for BPJS, for example, it's quite a lot. It's quite a big chunk of the budget, right? So if they can, they can do something in order to increase the awareness of the people, for example, to keep themselves, to keep the society healthy, right? Not doing any harms to the environment. People then can increase their living standard, for example. This is also for the sake of the government budget, because you can cut the cost at the end of the day. So it's very important to look into this aspect. I know at the moment we are focusing on different things. We don't really, we sort of like ignoring these things because it's not considered something which can make you, full, your stomach full immediately, right? But you have to look at the long-term effects of these decisions, right? Because at the moment you can see the side effects of the rampant deforestry that we have almost everywhere, not just in Sulawesi at the moment because of the mining effect, but also in every provinces that we have in Indonesia. The deforestation is very huge and rampant. And then you can see the side effects. We have flood every now and then. It's almost like frequent basis every year during the rainy seasons. And this is affecting not just the infrastructures, but also the health of the societies, because once there's a flood, there will be a lot of diseases also emerging following the floods. And this is, of course, is going to affect the budget allocation for BPJS. Once they get sick, they will go to the hospitals and then claim the money from BPJS, which is actually part of the government allocation for that. So if so you can see the domino effects of this, of this decision. If you ignore it, that definitely is going to actually affect the whole structure at the end of the day. Yeah.
Okay, may you explain a little more how the role of university or institution like your college in managing the waste, especially in managing the recycling? Okay, thank you.
All right. So, yeah. So there are a lot of ways that we can actually contribute to the to increase the level of awareness of peoples, and this is especially important for us as academics. So through research, we can sort of like emphasizing the importance. Right? So this is one way to actually promoting it. So research can actually promote the importance of the importance of this, the movement of green economics or circular economy. Yeah, I think that's the things that we can do as an academics. So research is one of the most important way to promote it. I mean, actions is something else. Action is something else. You can do it by yourself, as you mentioned before. You have your own, yard, backyard, farms. Yeah, so this actually very good because this is considered as a self-sufficient. You can cut costs as well, and also can cut the carbon emissions, your carbon footprints by planting your own, for example, vegetables. You don't have to buy it, right? So people, buying from the markets, basically they're also contributing to the carbon footprints because basically we are contributing to the farmers who are actually using a lot of, fertilizers, right? Pesticides that are also affecting the environment negatively. So these are the things. So maybe you're not using those things for your own farm. So basically you are also contributing based on your own actions. It's not really, so research is one thing, your own actions is another thing. But both of them are actually providing, informations. Right? So you can sort of like promoting your farm, for example, to other people's, and they can follow suits your steps. This is also very good. So it's not just like contributing ideas through research, but also through actions. Yeah.
Okay, so thank you so much for the answers. Sorry,
okay,
sir.
Thank you for your explanation. And we are here, we say hello to you. I hope you happy and healthy there. See you later. Thank you very much.
I hope the same thing to you, as inshallah, everyone is healthy. So yeah, I look forward to see you sometimes when when I'm in Kendari. So I hope to drop by at FBE, hopefully.
Yeah. Okay, nice to meet you. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you so much for the answers and also the explanation about our topic today. Okay, so before we end up to the session today, let's hear the closing remarks by Dr. Rita Bidani, even able to give us kind of the conclusion related to this topic today.
Okay, so the conclusions from my topic is that there is an increasing trend for this, positive movement of green economy, circular economy, whatever you want to call it. So I think it's important for Indonesia to actually positively engage in this movement as well, because as I mentioned earlier, it's not just for the sake of the society at the end of the day, but it's also for the, it's going to affect the government budget allocation as well, right? As you can see from what we have around Indonesia, when there is actually natural disaster, for example, due to the all those environmental disasters that human created basically. So you can see the effect of that, right? So I think it is a must for the government to look into these aspects. I know it's been around, It's just that we don't really concern that much because of the effect, and probably in the past it's not that huge. But now you can see what happens everywhere in Indonesia in terms of this the negative effects of these environmental degradations. So so there should be like initiatives from the government. I'm not sure how, but I can see that it is now becomes lacking as compared to the previous government eras. I mentioned about Suharto eras, where there are a lot of campaigns about addressing the social issues as well as in the environmental issues. We have a lot of awards that can encourage people to, encourage people, such as awards such as what do you call that again? So there are many things that happens during the past that can actually encourage the society to actually contribute, engage in looking after the environment. Nowadays we also see that. I give you the examples of Setali, right, and then Chop Value. Right, Chop Value is also expanding to Indonesia. Setali is purely from Indonesia, and then this is a very good examples at the moment that we can actually look into, and then of course we can follow the footsteps of these people, looking at what are the concerns, what are the problems that we are facing in Kendari, for example, in terms of the environment or other things that is related to the green economics. But of course, the budget allocation should be there. And then, of course, our roles as an academics is to convince what would be the long-term effects of this if we actually positively engage in this positive movement. I think that's my final conclusions about my topic, as well as questions which are addressed to me today. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. I would like to say thank you very much, and please give big applause to our last speaker today. Okay, it is the end of our session today. I'm going to recall the Master of Ceremony.
Iya, baik, sekali lagi kami ucapkan terima kasih kepada kedua pembicara kita dan juga moderator. Baiklah Bapak Ibu hadirin yang kami hormati, demikianlah seluruh rangkaian acara seminar internasional Fakultas Ekonomi dan Bisnis Universitas Halu Oleo dengan tema Keberlanjutan Ekonomi dalam Era Green Economy, pendekatan multidisiplin di bidang ekonomi, akuntansi, dan manajemen. Sekali lagi kami ucapkan terima kasih atas kehadirannya dan mohon maaf atas segala kekurangan.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the schedule for the International Seminar of the Faculty of Economics and Business, Halu Oleo University, with the theme Economic Sustainability in the Green Economy Era, Multidisciplinary Approach in Economics, Accounting and Management. Today, Thursday, October 3rd, 2024. Thank you very much for joining us. We're thrilled to have you here and apologize for any shortcomings. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah.
Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.